here it is. It is back. Welcome to the 32 NFL team bracket. And I don't want to make this any longer. Not going to explain it much. It's pretty self-explanatory. 32 teams, one bracket, one winner. Let's go and get right into the bracket. I don't want to waste too much time because last time this video almost reached 45 minutes. It was right there at 45 minutes. So before I get this video any longer, like I said, let's get into the bracket. So here's the bracket right here. I waited to the end of the season so I could get the finalized records from 16 weeks of play. So every team has their standing 1 through 16, AFC and NFC, both separated, and it's March Madness seeding. So let's head into the AFC first with our first matchup, Ravens-Bengals, then the Broncos-Raiders, Bills-Jaguars, Texans-Browns, Titans-Jets, Patriots-Chargers, Steelers-Colts, and Chiefs-Dolphins. And obviously this should be on the screen if you want to know the seeding and everything else. Then on the NFC we have 49ers-Redskins, Bears-Cowboys, Seahawks-Cardinals, Eagles-Panthers, Vikings-Buccaneers, Saints-Giants, Rams-Falcons, Packers-Lions. So let's go get right into this. If you want to watch the first episode, which I highly recommend you do first, it's not like it's not like a spoiler or anything. It's not like it has to be in an order or anything like that. But I highly recommend you watch it. It's my first ever video. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it. So yeah, let's go and head into the first game, Ravens versus Bengals. No, this is not your worst nightmare. This is the Bengals actually leading the Ravens. The Ravens do have the ball in the red zone though. Lamar Jackson fakes a handoff. Lamar Jackson gets sacked in the red zone. Time ticks down. Ravens need a touchdown. It's only a 6-point game, so they can get the touchdown extra point and win it. Bengals have kept up with the Ravens' run game. Lamar Jackson, looking for a receiver, gets a touchdown. Hollywood Brown. So the Ravens are lining up for the extra point to take the lead. Justin Tucker never misses these. Up and good. Ravens up 23-22. Bengals have 1 minute and 3 timeouts. Comes Andy Dalton with less than a minute drill and just a few yards ago. And I mean few, probably about 40 yards. Looking for a field goal at least. Andy Dalton gets the time he needs. Andy Dalton takes a shot. It's a good grab up to the 40-yard line. As the Bengals, with one play already in the book, drops a dime through 2 defenders. And timeout is called with only about 20 more yards to go. The Bengals can make history in the 32-team playoffs. Andy Dalton looks like to be Joe Mixon standing to the right of him. Gonna get a block for Mixon. Gonna have to get sacked. And the Bengals, after getting it deliver, the Ravens respond. The Bengals fall into a sack. The Bengals need to call a timeout. They're letting time tick. Not too sure what's going on here. I think that's the timeout they just called. Yep. They let a few seconds tick. But now they have to do out-of-bound play. Get at least 15 yards. And take a shot for a long field goal. With 11 seconds left, Andy Dalton is lining up for one of the biggest plays of his life. Gets the time he needs. Watch out, 97. Pocket's collapsing. He's still up. He goes down. The game is over. Bengals fall to the number 1 Ravens. Ravens defense comes up clutch when they need them. And the number 1 Ravens slightly move past the number 16 Bengals. There goes the Bengals' hearts as they've been crushed by the flock of Ravens. Moving on to the next game. Well, it's clutch time for Derek Carr and the Raiders, and if they somehow convert on this, a 4th and 15, with a minute and 30 left, 1-point game, that'd be insane. The pocket's collapsing, he gets sacked! So many sacks are going on, it's only been 2 games in, and the Broncos take over. Because of the clutch sack by Von Miller, the Broncos are ready to leave Mile High, head to Baltimore, and take on the number 1 Ravens. It wasn't the prettiest win, but a win is a win. 17-16. Moving on. Not much to say about this game. The Jaguars will lose to the Bills with a final score of 24-16. Jaguars fought hard. Field goal game is what lost it for them. And yeah, Bills are moving on to play the winner of Texans and Browns. Here we are in NRG Stadium. Baker and the Browns are trying to get something done to tie this game up and go to overtime. It's Odell Beckham. 10, 5. Touchdown! That came out of nowhere. Odell Beckham outruns the defense. A cakewalk. The cornerback was not ready for it, and Odell Beckham just runs straight into the end zone on the first play of the simulation. What a way to respond. Looks like we might go to overtime. There's still some time left on the board, though. Minute 30. Right on the tip of the 45-yard line with 30 seconds left. Field goal line is in reach. With plenty of time, he's going to air it to a quick route to his halfback, and the Browns defense responds, taking him down before he even crosses the first down. 3rd and 2. Texans call a timeout. If Deshaun Watson doesn't convert this here, they might have to punt the ball away and give the Browns a chance. Deshaun Watson, here comes the snap. Looking for a short pass, and he gets DeAndre Hopkins up to the field goal line. He's still running. He broke the tackle. Touchdown. Texans. DeAndre Hopkins broke the tackle. 52 yards. And the Texans with a 33-27 lead with less than 30 seconds. And the block by number 25. Unbelievable. All the receivers to the left side of the field. Baker Mayfield takes the ball into a pick. And the Texans will bring home a win, and mostly almost a pick six. The Texans, after the DeAndre Hopkins broken tackle for 56 yards, and now Baker Mayfield comes on the turf, gives the ball back to him, and that's game. Texans win 34-27. What a wild one. It could have been crazier, but crazy enough it was. Let's move on to the next game. Every game is getting closer and closer. Sam Darnold, down by a touchdown, has to give these Jets momentum. There's a flag, though. Most likely going to be a face mask penalty, because Madden loves face mask, and that moves the Jets up even closer to the potential chance of tying this. Jets are around the 45-yard line. Sam Darnold looking for a quick pass. Oh, almost picked from the collision of the quick slant. Sam Darnold, 2nd and 10. Looking for another pass. Drops back. Oh, and it gets swatted out of the hands by last second. The Titans defense coming up clutch. 3rd down and 10. Jets haven't moved 1 yard since they got here. And Sam Darnold misfires. It's 4th and 10. And here it is. Sam Darnold lining up for one of the biggest plays of his life. 3 people in the backfield. Sam Darnold, 4th and 10. Airs it deep. And it gets knocked away in the last second. And the Titans will get the job done and move on. Titans with great defense, and that final drive gives them the win, 27-20. And upset alert, as the Chargers are looking to take a last-second field goal or just let time tick down. They take the field goal. The kick is horrible, but why does it matter? Because upset, the Chargers, the number 14 Chargers, stun the number 3 Patriots in Foxborough, and the Chargers are moving on to play the Titans. The Patriots, not the team you'd think would fall in the first round of any playoffs, but here we are in 2020. Things have changed. The Chargers are moving on, the first major upset in this bracket. Okay, so the Colts were able to burn all 3 timeouts for the Steelers. Will kick the field goal up, and it is just barely good, and it's a 30-24 lead. Let's see if the Steelers can do anything, now needing a touchdown instead. Okay, so sorry about the last clip. The Colts did end up winning it by a score of 30-24. Got cut out just a little bit. But here we are in Arrowhead, and I don't know why this playoff bracket is just... It's just they're saying, like, you know what? You probably want the video to be shorter, but we don't care. We're going to make this video an hour long. Every game we have is a neck-and-neck game up into the final minutes, so obviously I have to record it. So here we have the worst team in Madden, the 68 overall Dolphins, only down by 4, with a minute left, and Fitzpatrick misfires. Fitzpatrick's been decent today with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Fitzpatrick with an empty backfield lines up for what could be the final Dolphin play. Let's see, can they convert? He almost throws a pick, and it is a turnover on downs. The Chiefs will take over. However, this game is not completely over yet, considering the Dolphins have 2 timeouts. And the Chiefs will get the first down, so that means that should be game. The Chiefs will win it. Well, we don't know the score yet. Most likely will stay the same score. Chiefs are moving on, and that is the AFC. So let's move on to the NFC, then the Sweet 16. Let's go. Well, no surprises here as the 49ers will win big. Final score 31-17. Nothing much to say here. 49ers moving on. Next game. And this game comes down to the wire with Jason Garrett and the Cowboys falling 1 point short. I couldn't get any camera, but it was nothing special anyways, considering it was the Bears kneeling it down in the clock. Bears win 23-22. Bears got to travel all the way to San Fran now to play the toughest team in the NFC. Final score 23-22. And once again, we had a game that ended with the victory with a knee. Seahawks winning by 1 touchdown, 31-24 against the Cardinals, their division opponent. And the Seahawks will move on in the NFC. Let's go. And we finally have a matchup that's worth getting gameplay of. Someone named Greer, or Greator, I don't know how you say his last name, is in for the Panthers, and oh, almost a good catch. Gets knocked away from the collision, 2nd and 10. 3 rush, almost got sacked on the 3 rush, and he'll lob it up, and it's caught! Oh my, through 2 defenders, you couldn't be any more clutch with that catch. I can't, what a grab. I don't know how he secured that and how it did not get knocked away. He brought it down over 2 people, putting the Panthers in range to have a shot. I'm not saying they can win this because you still can't see that end zone yet. 35-yard line. 13 seconds left. 1 timeout left. Can the Panthers do something? He's going to get sacked. The gain for nothing. And the final timeout has been called. And now you just got to send a prayer to the end zone. Looking for a miracle. Here he goes. Can somebody grab hold of it? It's floating and it's knocked away. And the Eagles will get the job done. Winning 17-13. Panthers, they had the energy. They just fell short. And here comes an onside kick try for the Vikings. Will be recovered by the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers should take this and kneel the clock away. Buccaneers will win 23-21 with our first upset NFC. Forgot to mention, I thought the Buccaneers would win anyways. That's why I'm not that surprised. Not that I have hate on the Vikings. I just feel like the Buccaneers are actually a strong team. Buccaneers, moving on. I cannot make this stuff up. The Giants. No clue. The Giants are just the king of this. I know they didn't win last time, but for whatever reason, if you play the Giants, chances are... Hold up, what's going to happen here? Knocked away. Okay, but if you play the Giants, chances are you're in for a battle because the Giants, I know, they've had the low seeds every time. If you remember what happened in the first video, they went into the Final Four. Hopefully that's not a spoiler, but they beat the damn Packers in the first round. Here they are in episode 2, beating the Saints. And then let's talk about the Saints real quick, which cannot catch a break, which in the first episode they lost to the Falcons in the first round. Now looking to lose to the Giants. However, let's see if they get a miracle. Oh, no way. It's caught. Oh, no way. Are you... I speak of the devil. I'm just talking about how the Saints are going to lose, and then the ball is just knocked into the hands of Ginn and just Arno Smith and walks into the end zone as the Saints win it in a miracle. I've lost the words. I was just continuing talking about the Giants are the team you want to watch out for. And just like that, Drew Brees throws it deep. It gets ricocheted into a pile. One dude escapes of it, which his name is Smith. And Smith is the hero of today, getting the touchdown with 2 seconds left on the clock. Okay, so the only really big chance the Giants have is just to be lucky, I guess. Get the luck that the Saints just had. Last second takes down and the Giants gets nothing out of it. And that, my friends, is one way to win a game. Saints, with Drew Brees' delivery to the end zone, just throwing it up, hoping for a prayer, gets knocked around. And speaking of the devil, like I said, I was just saying they're going to lose. Comes back with a Hail Mary win. And the Saints are moving on. Giants, at least they put up a show, but they choked one final play, and that's what cost the game. Final score 30-27. Wow. Okay, I'm lost of words from what happened last game, but hopefully, for the Rams is what they need, just something like that. They're going to lob it up, and, oh! The collision breaks it up. Jared Goff with one touchdown winner pick, 30-26. They need a touchdown with only 19 seconds left. 2 timeouts and a 3rd and 3. And Jared Goff, Todd Gurley in the backfield. Drops back, gets the time he needs, and he's going to lob it. Can he be Drew Brees? Oh, it happened again, 2 times in a row. Unbelievable. Why does this keep on happening? The Lob City effect. I don't know how he came down with that. Cooper Kupp. Good night. There's 7 helmets surrounding him. And that ball is perfectly placed into Cooper Kupp's hands. And the Rams have a 3-point lead. I wouldn't be surprised if there was another miracle, considering it's already happened 2 times in a row. Can the Falcons pull it off? He's going to send it deep. And it's incomplete in the Rams with the deliver to Cooper Kupp. Do not know how that happened. The chances are unreal, but the grab was amazing. Cooper Kupp and Jared Goff put the Rams on their back and are moving on to play the Saints. Or not the Saints. I think it is the Packers and the Lions. Let's move on. I need to catch my breath. And the Packers will finally get a taste of the Sweet 16, beating the Lions. Final score of 32-25. Came close, and the Packers finally moving on for the Sweet 16. So that concludes round 1. Moving on to bracket. Okay, so that concludes the first round of the second episode of the 32 NFL team bracket. And wow, that's all I can really say. There's a lot to mention, but I want to keep it short and simple. Let's move on to Sweet 16, starting the AFC. Ravens versus Broncos. Bills, Texans. Titans, Chargers. Colts, Chiefs. And on to the NFC, we have 49ers, Bears. Seahawks, Eagles. Buccaneers, Saints. And Rams, Packers. So here's the Sweet 16. By far, only through the first round, this was already better than the first episode. The games were insane. So hopefully we can see some more insane games going down the road. And yeah, moving on. And no surprise here, the Ravens become the first team to punch their ticket into the Elite 8, winning big 49-20. You don't really see that in the playoff, don't you? Ravens moving. And we're back at NRG, and the game just ended. Did the time run out again? I think the time ran out, and I guess the Bills didn't have enough time. I thought they were in the red zone of the Texans. I remember that, but I guess they didn't have enough time. So the time ticks down, and the Texans win. Final score, 23-21. It was a close one. Could have been a game-tying or game-winning field goal. Texans just inch past the Bills, and they'll play the Ravens in the Elite 8. And, well, there goes the Titans. Didn't last long. The number 6 Titans fall to the Chargers. Who the Chargers, probably the most underrated team in this playoff right now. They beat the Patriots first round. Now they beat the Titans, 2 playoff teams. And it's safe to say the Chargers could go all the way. They got to play the winner of Colts and Chiefs. Let's move on. And the Chiefs stay alive for a repeat. The Colts fall to the Chiefs. Chiefs win with a score of 27-24. It was a close game. Colts were looking to make a comeback in the fourth quarter. Colts couldn't hold on. The number 2 Chiefs are moving on to play the Chargers. Let's go to the NFC now. And an upset alert, we have the Bears wearing their really wacky, ugly jerseys, in my opinion. Almost picked. One more play to go, but the Bears winning 27-13 over the number 1 seeded 49ers. The number 1 seed falls. The first number 1 seed to fall. One more play. They can't do much with it. The Bears will win. Most likely 27-13. Let's move on. Okay, time is ticking in the Battle of the Birds. We're under 30 seconds. Seahawks need a field goal. They need about 20 yards or so, but time is going down with no timeouts on the board for them. Things aren't looking so well. They need a miracle. From around the 51-yard line, here comes Russell Wilson. 15 seconds left to go. Probably just going to lob this one. Gets plenty of time. He's going to run out of it, and he's going to get sacked, and that's going to do the game right there. The Eagles win by one singular point, 19-18. The Eagles are moving on to play the Bears in the playoffs again. Scary times. Let's move on. Well, the Buccaneers will get absolutely crushed by their division rival, the Saints. Saints win by, I believe, a score of 38-15. And yeah, moving on to... And down goes the Green Bay Packers. The battle of the California quarterbacks goes to Jared Goff and the Rams. The number 2 seed Packers fall just a little bit short. I mean, it was longer than last time at least, but the Rams will win this game with a score of 38-28, a 10-point game. Packers get absolutely stunned at the Lambeau Field. I don't know why they cannot play anything here. But yeah, moving on to the Elite Eight. The Rams, final team to punch their ticket to the Elite Eight. Let's move on to bracket results, and then we'll hit the Final Four. Okay, so that concludes the Sweet 16, and we're moving on to the Elite Eight. We have our 8 teams. Let's start the AFC. Ravens versus Texans. Then the Chargers versus the Chiefs. Onto the NFC, we have the Bears versus the Eagles, and the Saints versus the Rams. A lot of revenge matchups. Bears versus Eagles, playoffs from last year. Saints Rams, playoffs from last year. We all know what happened then. I don't remember when the Chargers Chiefs played. I'm pretty sure they did play last year. And then the Ravens Texans, I don't remember that. But good matchups here. And to the Final Four, here we go. And anybody who steps in the way of the Baltimore Ravens is just 100% going to get destroyed. Ravens winning 35-13. I'm pretty sure I already figured out the score. But that's not the point. The Ravens destroyed them. So we all know the Ravens are moving on for the AFC 32-team championship. Final score 35-13. Moving on. And we finally have a game worth recording. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers looking to get past the Chiefs. Gets a 13-yard game with Keenan Allen wearing 13. Chargers did this in the first 32 NFL team bracket. He's going to get it up the middle to the tight end. All the way up to the 11-yard line. With 2 plays, they have gotten around 40 yards. And the Chargers just need around 10 more to tie this game up and possibly go to overtime. Timeout has finally been called. In the backfield, one more time for Phillip Rivers, or two more times. He gets knocked down in the last second. Would have gotten much anyways. Definitely would have been close to the first down. So now we're 4th and 8 with 18 seconds left, and this could be the final play for the Chargers. This is the move on to the AFC Championship and play for a chance at the 32 NFL Team Super Bowl. Do the Chargers have it? We'll see. Phillip Rivers. One final play in him. No, there's no plays left in him. He throws it off target. The Chiefs will take over from here and are going to the AFC Championship to play the number 1 Ravens. Now onto the NFC as the Chiefs basically secured this win. Taking a knee would do it. Moving on. Okay, for the Eagles-Bears games, we are heading to overtime. It is tied at 27 right now. The Eagles elect to receive after winning the toss, which means the Bears would offend. Eagles score a touchdown. It's over. Yeah, let's go and get right into this. Okay, Carson Wentz in the first play of overtime. Has to go around 50 yards for a field goal, 70 for a touchdown. Gets the first down. Zach Ertz. Okay, after an unnecessary booth review, the Eagles won it, of course. They got the first down, hand the ball off. Gets a good solid run. I think it's 5, gets about 7 yards out of it. The Eagles are pushing up for an overtime victory to head into the NFC Championship. Eagles are not far from the field goal target line, but that's not what they're going for. Carson Wentz is going to throw it to 86 again. I believe that's Ertz. Yes, last time it was not Ertz. I'm getting the numbers mixed up. They have 2 tight ends, both close numbers. 86 is Zach Ertz with a reception there. Gets in about 20 yards, and they're in field goal range now. But they're looking to win this game. Play action pass. Gets Aguilar all the way up to the 5. Aguilar can catch. Aguilar was having a great game. Has 150 yards of passing today. And they are 5 yards away from moving to the NFC Championship. So the Eagles are lining up for either a field goal or a touchdown. Touchdown wins, or the field goal puts them in the lead, but does not secure the win. Carson Wentz is going to get the touchdown. They take the game, and they are moving to the NFC Championship, knocking off the Bears. The Eagles are playing the winner of the Saints and the Rams. Gets the quick slant. Kind of reminded me of the Malcolm Butler pick. Thankfully, it was not picked off the goal line. But the Eagles are moving on. Well, the game is concluded here in New Orleans. And just like the NFC Championship last year, the Rams win it. 38-24. The Rams are moving on to play the Eagles in the NFC Championship 32-team edition. The Saints, well, after a hard-fought 2 games, from one of them game getting the craziest Madden play I think I'll ever see, fall to the Rams at their own house. The Saints, once again, not the best team in the playoffs. They always just get screwed over, just unlucky, and somehow the Rams are moving on to play the Eagles. Okay, so that concludes the Elite 8, and now we're into the final 4 teams of the 32 NFL team bracket. Now, from the AFC, the number 1 team versus the number 2 team, the Ravens versus the Chiefs. And in the NFC, the number 4 team versus the number 7 team, the Eagles versus the Rams. So I bet your guys' final 4 predictions are half right. I bet a lot of you guys said the Ravens and Chiefs, but anybody saying Eagles and Rams, you're probably thinking, wow, they're delusional. But the Ravens, Chiefs, and the Eagles, Rams. Let's start with the AFC, then the NFC, and we're hitting the second ever 32 NFL team Super Bowl. Let's move on. Patrick Mahomes, the final play. Just going to air it. He has the arm. And it gets tipped away all the way up to the 25-yard line, which means the Ravens are your AFC 32 NFL team championship winners. Lots of mouthful, isn't it? The Chiefs, the repeat does not work out for the Chiefs, and the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl for the 32 NFL teams. So, who will make it for the Super Bowl on the NFC side? Will it be the Rams or the Eagles? Let's find out right now. And the game is over. Sean McVay and the Rams are your 32 NFL team NFC championship winners. The Rams are moving on to play the Ravens and the 32 NFL team Super Bowl, at least the second edition of it. These teams did meet in the regular season, and it was a blowout. The Ravens winning by multiple touchdowns, in Ravens versus Rams earlier back. But will the Rams be a different team? The Rams got past the entire NFC just like that. They got past the Packers, the Saints, the Eagles, forgot everybody else. But that's some heavy hitters right there, and the Rams are able to get past all of them. Will they get past the number 1 team in the AFC and possibly the number 1 team in the league, the Ravens? Let's head on to the Super Bowl right now. Okay, so that concludes the Final 4, and we have our AFC and NFC champions, the Ravens and the Rams, meeting in the Super Bowl. Who will win the second 32-team NFL Super Bowl championship? The Ravens or the Rams? This is just a tongue twister. There's so many words I gotta say. Okay, to the Super Bowl we go. And I cannot make this stuff up. The Rams, starting with the number 10 Falcons, gets past them in a thriller. Moves on to the Packers, beats them at Lambeau. Moves on to the Saints, beats them. And here they are in the Super Bowl. 33-14. The Los Angeles Rams are your second 32 NFL team Super Bowl champions. Like I said, the path they've been taking has been insane. They beat the Falcons, then they beat the Packers, then the Rams, then not the Rams, then they beat themselves, then the Saints, then the Eagles, and then they beat the number 1 team, the Ravens, with Lamar Jackson. Nobody thought the Rams would win this, okay? Maybe one person, Elijah. Elijah was the only person who had hope in the Rams. Well, here are the Rams actually winning it. And yeah, here's the final results of the bracket. I think this was a lot more enjoyable than the first episode. Hopefully it's shorter. If you made it this far, I just gotta say, you're a G. I mean, it's like a 45-minute video probably, or maybe it could be longer or shorter. I don't know. I just know that if you made it this far, you really were dedicated to watch this video, because it is a long one. So that concludes the second episode And yeah, I'll probably be bringing this back in March when it hits March Madness time. But for now, I'll see you guys